Did you know that there's a really fun action RPG crossed with a shoot 'em up that you can pick up on the NES for under $20? In today's episode, we're back under that $20 range for kind of hidden gems, overlooked games on the NES. Now, let's say that you had a friend ask you, hey, what's a really fun game that I maybe haven't played on the NES? Well, this list is going to go through 5 of those that you can get for under 20 bucks. First one on the list is going to be Codename Viper. Now, Codename Viper lands between about $9 and $13, so relatively cheap. You could probably find it for about 10 bucks. And it's a really fun game. It's basically the game Rolling Thunder, which was really cool on the arcades. That was ported over to the NES, but this one actually is a little bit better on the Nintendo. In this, we're gonna play as a secret agent. We're out trying to rescue hostages and stop the big baddie, who, in the end, kind of was obvious. Now we're gonna start this out with 3 lives, 3 continues. There is a password system in this one, and we need to get through 8 levels. In each one of those levels, you're gonna wanna find these secret doors, spin them around. You're gonna either find something empty, maybe a surprise, a hostage, some bullets, a new gun, stuff like that. But a key part of this is you need to find the other agent that's been captured. He's gonna have the bomb that's gonna let you blow the door up to complete the level. And every time we complete a level, it's gonna slowly fill in this like note. We're gonna get clues as we go. And in the end, we're gonna figure out who exactly is controlling this whole scenario that we're in. Now, there's not a lot of sprites in this one. They kind of use them over and over again, which is fun. I like that they just changed the colors on a lot of them, but you're gonna wanna pay attention to those colors because that's gonna be key. If they're gonna shoot at you, you need to shoot them twice. You're gonna take 1 shot, what exactly they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it. There is some additional enemies. There's some crazy enemies. There's like zombies at one point that are kind of cool and neat to look at. I really enjoyed the way the game played, the way the game looked. You had to have some pretty good reaction time. This is one of those ones that as soon as the enemy shows up, he's instantly blasting at you or coming straight at you. And with that, I did think the controls were pretty good. Again, you need some reaction time on this, and it can get kind of difficult. But this one's one of those ones where the difficulty is something that you know you can kind of make it through, and it doesn't really get crazy until the very, very end. And at that point, it's gonna get rough. But honestly, this is one that I could throw in every once in a while and just have fun with. You know what, I might not make it to the end every single time, because again, it does get a little difficult. But if you're looking for something that's challenging and fun at the same time, for like 10 bucks, this is a great game. Definitely want to check out. Now, number 2 on the list is gonna be Life Force. This one's done by Konami, and it's actually called Salamander, but it was re-released and renamed in North America as Life Force and in a re-release on the Japanese arcades. This is actually a spin-off to the Gradius series. Now, this is gonna be a scrolling shoot 'em up. And I have to say scrolling shoot 'em up, because not only does it have that side-scrolling vertical shoot 'em up, it also has that horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up for some levels. This one's cool because you can play 2 players on it. It's extremely difficult because you kind of have no continues, and it can get really hard. This is one you're going to want to learn the levels, and as you do and as you get better at it, you're definitely going to progress and make it further through. This is definitely one that you could sit down and have that couch co-op feel. Such a fun game. Really difficult. And I honestly really suck at shoot 'em up games. This one's got a simplified power-up system from the Gradius stuff. It's really cool. You're going to want to make sure you pay attention to what you're adding to your ship as you go. I would suggest some things over others, but I'll let you figure that out. It's a lot of fun. I did it a certain way almost every single time, and I had a lot of fun playing it. It was controller throwing, frustrating, dying sometimes, but as soon as I learned where to be and how to play the levels, it was a lot of fun. A cool thing about this one is a lot of the power-ups can be combined. So you pick up the options, you get more shots, and then you can add like the lasers to those. So every shot you have is running the lasers. You'll get the force field, There's some really fun stuff. The rockets, and you can keep adding to those and upgrading those powers as you go until you max them all out. And you're just cleaning house. The rough thing is, if you die, you lose all your power-ups. You might be able to grab some of those options, depending on where you are and where you spawn back in. And that can be infuriating. You just clip something. The hitbox is really tight on your ship. You clip something and you're done. This one, again, takes some memorization, takes some figuring out. This is really a fun game. And Life Force, since you can play it 2 players, can really become a lot of fun if you can get a friend over, get one of the kids to play with you, something like that. They've got way faster reflexes than us, but they'll probably kick your butt. And Life Force lands at like 12 to 17 bucks. So at that price, you're getting a 2-player scrolling shoot 'em up that really can be a lot of fun. And I mean, if it's a spin-off to Gradius, I'm kind of in right away. Now, number 3 on this list is going to be another Konami title. This one's a run and gun game, and it's going to be Jackal. This is one of those games that I'm kind of learning about too as we go. I picked this one up in September, and this is a really, really good game. I ended up playing this one a little bit before Halloween with Rabbit, and we had a lot of fun with it. Oh no, save my guys! Save them! Save them from their doom!
You don't want to get them?
I'm gonna be fast enough to get them. Oh, careful. I wonder how many guys we have now. Like, oh! That tank come out of nowhere. There you go. It's even scarier now that we're playing it and we know that we gotta pick these guys up and not die. Because last time it was like, ah, whatever, I died. This was one that hooked us right away, and we really, really enjoyed it. In this one, we're going to be driving this Jeep. It's going to be that top-down look. These are some sweet armored Jeeps we're going to cruise around in. Now, we're going to have 2 attacks on this. One's going to be the gun turret, and that's only going to shoot straight up. The second attack, when we start out, is going to be the grenade. Now, that one you can throw in any direction. Now, combining these 2 weapons as you go is really easy to do, and it's going to help you out a lot. Make sure you're shooting and throwing those grenades, cleaning out the guys above you and taking out the guys on the sides too. Really fun game. Really, really enjoy this one. It's kind of got like a Grand Theft Auto feel to it, like the original Grand Theft Auto. I almost feel like that might have been a little inspired by this. I'm sure that's not true, but it's just a really good game. I love driving these Jeeps around, taking out the enemies. As we're driving around, we can run guys down. There's tanks, there's other vehicles, there's boats, there's planes. Everything's coming at you and attacking you. Now, we're going to play through 6 levels in this one. And inside of those levels, we're going to come across buildings. Some of these buildings we can blow up, and we can save those prisoners. They'll get in your Jeep with you. Some of those prisoners are going to be special ones. They're going to be flashing. Those guys are going to upgrade your secondary weapon. You're going to go from that grenade over to a missile, and then you'll get one that upgrades your missile, and it's going to have a bigger explosion. It's really cool, really interesting concept. And if you're playing 2 players, it's kind of a good idea sometimes to have one guy have the grenade and the other one getting the level ups. Because then you have the grenade that you can throw over top of stuff and the missiles that you can just hammer stuff with. Now, if you get attacked while you have these prisoners on your Jeep, some of them are gonna get killed in the explosion that is you getting destroyed. But other ones are gonna get free, and they're gonna be walking around, and you're gonna have to go pick them back up. Now, the more of these prisoners that you drop off at the helipads, the better the ending is gonna be for each level. Sometimes they're looking at the map, figuring out, oh, here we go next. And other times they're just not having a good time. Now, at the end of each of these levels, there is going to be a boss. And then when you get to that cutscene, it's going to show you the full level. Now, this game was also distributed under the name Top Gunner. And there are going to be some slight differences between the Jackal version and that Top Gunner game, that kind of international release. But this one is a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy this one. I could just drive around all day in this and have a good time. And I mean, if we're looking at cheap games that are just a lot of fun to play, Jackal's going to come in between like $13 and $18, which really isn't that bad for a game that is a ton of fun and you can play with a friend. Now, number 4 on the list, I've been saying it. I've been talking about bringing in other people in the community to talk about games that they love. And in this one, we're going to throw this over to my friend RNG Gamer.
Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I play all my games randomly, and thank you, Retro Cart Collector, for having me in the video. My choice for an NES game under $20 is Super Dodgeball. Imagine you took all the characters from the game River City Ransom and you pitted them out against each other in a dodgeball tournament that took place all over the world. Now, it's really simple. We all know the rules of the dodgeball. It's kind of 3-on-3, but the opponents have members of their squad on your side of the court standing out of bounds. If you let a ball go by accidentally, one of the opponents behind you is going to scoop the ball up and nail you from behind. And as intriguing as that sounds, it's not what you want to happen. The game can be pretty challenging, but what makes it a little bit better on you is you can do special attacks by tapping forward on the D-pad twice and then using the throw button. There are all kinds of interesting things you can do, like running away from your opponents, jumping, turning around mid-air, and then throwing a special attack. And each character has their own strengths and weaknesses and their own special attacks. And the gameplay really boils down to being able to intercept the enemy's special attacks and returning them back onto them. Once you deal enough damage, your enemy goes down and you progress through the game through harder and harder and harder stages. It's not like dodgeball in school where when you hit your opponent once, they're out. Oh no. In this game, you have to pummel your opponent till they die with the dodgeball. And once the entire enemy team's been eliminated, it's time to begin your reign of destruction in the next country on the list. All the way up till you meet up with the bad guys, the Soviet Union. And once you take them down, of course, you have to travel back to the past to eliminate your former self. This whole game is a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite games on the NES, and one of the few games on the NES that I can beat on the hardest difficulty without ever losing a character. So if you haven't played Super Dodgeball, give it a shot. It's a fantastic game.
So a really, really great pick. Dodgeball is a great game. This is one that's been on my list to put on one of these. So I'm so glad RNG Gamer picked it. And you can get Dodgeball between like $14 and $18. So another really fun, cheap game that you can just have a blast with. So number 5 on the list is going to hit that $16 to $20 mark. So we're right there on this one. This game, 1,000% worth it. You see it in a lot of comment sections on videos like this, so I had to pick it up, I had to play it, and after figuring it out, it's so much fun. Number 5 is gonna be The Guardian Legend. This one is like an action RPG with that vertical shoot 'em up style gameplay in it as well. Now in The Guardian Legend, we're gonna play as the Guardian. Now she is a robot that can turn into a spaceship. It's gonna have like that Zelda kind of adventuring quality. And when you get into those shoot 'em ups, they're not really intense, but they're fun and you can have a lot of fun doing it. And for someone like me that isn't really good at those shoot 'em up type of games, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. It took a little bit of learning, a little bit of figuring to understand what exactly I was doing and why I was doing it, because I don't have the book for this one. I'm sure if you had the book or looked it up, you could probably figure this out a lot quicker than I did. But once I had it figured out, I was super happy that I had this one. It's gonna have like a non-linear type of gameplay. You'll be able to pick up lots and lots of weapons that do different things. You're gonna wanna swap through those in like the start menu, and then you'll be able to use them. Now this game's really cool because some of the weapons that you're gonna get to pick up when we're in that like action adventure style of gameplay actually translate over to that shoot 'em up. So you can have some really cool attacks, and you can actually change those on the fly while you're in both versions of the gameplay. I really love games that kind of push those limits, give us a bit of different gameplay inside of it, which I think is why I really enjoyed this one. We're adventuring around and we're on an alien planet type called, wait one second, Naju, I believe is how it's pronounced. Now, Naju is infested with aliens, and we're trying to engage that planet's self-destruct mechanism so we can wipe out all of these aliens. Kind of a weird concept, but really fun adventuring around. The level keeps on getting bigger and bigger. The map keeps on building as you're playing in that action-adventure level. And then kind of the in-between stuff up to the bosses. It's kind of that vertical shooting adventure. There's also like mini bosses that you're going to end up fighting in that action-adventure stage, and they're going to give you those weapons. You can also buy the weapons. This game just goes all over the place, and it does it right everywhere it goes. And again, if I can pick this up for under $20 and have like Zelda and Gradius combined, that's an awesome game in my opinion. Super fun, a little hard to figure out right at the start, but other than that, this game 100% should be on your list. So that's 5 more games that you can get for under $20. Times are kind of tough for a lot of people right now, so if I can show you 5 games, even if one of them is something that you think that you would enjoy playing, and all you gotta do is throw 20 bucks at it and it'll give you a few weeks worth of enjoyment, absolutely. That is what I'm here for. I really want to share these cool games that maybe didn't get all the love they should have back then and are nice and cheap now, and we can pick them up and play them. Have a really good time doing it. So go out, try to find some of these games. Guardian Legend is for sure one that I highly suggest playing. Super Dodgeball, this one, so much fun. RNG Gamer hit the nail on the head here. Baby. Ooh, why am I? Oh, it's over here.
There you go. There's probably a special dude there.
Special friend?
Yeah, it's my special friend.
I kind of like the grenades a little bit better than the missiles.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
They're just slower, but
Yeah. Watch out for those things.